The following program is brought to you by Tiger Media Net. That program being, it came from the DVD collection.
Hello and welcome to the podcast. My name is John Billinger and this is
Connor Keating.
And today we will be reviewing The Monster That Challenged the World. Ooh! More like the monster that inconvenienced a small section of the world. Not really even a section, just an area.
A little military base.
Yeah, and I guess the surrounding beach as well.
Yeah, the surrounding beach.
Yes. Anyway, this is a 1957 monster movie, and usually I guess I'm the one who does the facts, and we're going to give the facts over here to Connor.
Because I pulled them up quicker. This movie was directed by Arnold Levine. He's known for The Monster That Challenged the World and basically, pretty much nothing else.
Yep, there we go.
And then it stars Tim Holt, Audrey Dalton, Hans
Conrad.
I was about to mispronounce it, honestly. And, pretty much a bunch of other people that you probably don't know.
And it's was distributed by United Artists.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's a pretty standard 50s monster movie.
Pretty standard, with a nice pulpy title, cheesy monster, and standard 50s monster movie acting.
Yep,
I'd say, and a pretty standard 1950s monster movie poster.
Yeah,
which is still cool regardless, but yeah.
So the film.
So this was my idea to review this movie because for a couple weeks ago, I reviewed I wrote an article reviewing the 1953 Titanic movie, and which Audrey Dalton, who's in this movie, was also in that. And in the article, I joked, I mentioned some of the other stuff that these people were in. I said Audrey Dalton was in The Monster That Challenged the World, which is a movie that me and Connor Keating will probably review on our podcast, which is why I decided, we have to review this movie now because I did that. So there we go.
Yeah, and I actually own 2 copies of this. I've got a Blu-ray and then a DVD that came with It, the Terror from Beyond Space. So,
well, that's nice.
Wait,
a Blu-ray?
Oh, the Blu-ray is the one we watched.
Yeah, but
and then the other one's just a DVD.
But the Blu-ray wasn't a double feature.
No, I'm saying the DVD what came with that.
Oh, okay.
That's the only reason I bought the DVD was because it had
Did you have the Blu-ray first?
Yeah, I had the Blu-ray first.
Yeah, that seems kind of like why?
No, I had that Blu-ray, and then I found it at like a used bookstore in the DVD section.
You couldn't find it on its own.
I was too lazy. It's a crappy movie, anyways.
Oh, okay.
Maybe we'll talk about it. It was the inspiration for Aliens, so that's.
I think it was.
I'm pretty sure it was.
Did say that it was the inspiration for Aliens. Hey, who knows? Maybe this movie was also the inspiration for Alien or Aliens.
No, actually, Queen of Blood was the inspiration with the eggs and stuff. That's where the eggs came from. That movie sucks too. Anyways, back to this crappy movie. I
wouldn't say this movie's a crappy movie. It's average.
It's average.
Okay.
It's really average.
Like it's.
It ain't no what was it
Land
called? Land
Unknown.
Unknown. Yeah.
It's not like that.
That's our current punching bag for the series.
Oh my god, that movie was so terrible. We probably shouldn't talk much about that movie because we already have an entire episode dedicated to that movie. And then we've
mentioned it multiple times since.
Well, yeah, because that movie is just so awful.
And then we forgot, and then we just totally forget the other bad movie we watched.
Yeah, okay, so let's just stay focused on The Monster That Challenged the World because that's basically what we're being paid now to review right now. Okay,
all
it's
right.
like we're not being paid to review Land Unknown again. So let's go. The story. I'm reading off the Wikipedia page, by the way.
I can give you the story. Here.
Okay, no, I was going to say the story was written by David Duncan And he also wrote screenplays for The Time Machine and Fantastic Voyage. Ooh. And filming took place in 16 days on a budget of $200,000. Ooh.
Yeah, those other movies are actually like okay sci-fi movies.
Yeah, this is an okay movie for what it is.
I still prefer the Fantastic Voyage. If that's the movie I'm thinking of, the one where they go in the body and all that.
And apparently the title was originally going to be The Jagged Edge. I don't know what that's
I'm gonna be honest.
to.
I think The Monster That Challenged the World is a better title.
Yeah, it's more poppy. It's more like boom. Like, oh, this is what's this movie about?
I don't know what the Jagged Edge
The Jagged
means.
Edge sounds like some kind of weird, nightclub or something
Yeah.
like that. You don't want anybody to know that you go to.
Yeah.
Anyway, I guess we'll let you tell the story.
I'll recite the story.
What's the story?
Since I
of
remember it
this
so well.
Shakespearean film.
So basically, they're doing some tests out at this some military tests at this
Military test.
at this ocean area.
1950s. It all comes back to tests.
To military tests. Yep. And some of their soldiers who are doing like parachute jumps start going missing,
Dun,
dying.
dun, dun.
They're finding weird slime, and gradually the mystery unravels as this military base discovers that there are these giant slug monsters in the ocean that are trying to eat people, and so then chaos ensues. Essentially, it's a pretty basic plot. There isn't much.
This is also
much
taking
else.
place at the Salton Sea in California, by the way. And the monsters are awakened by undersea earthquakes.
I don't think
they're prehistoric. Well, I'm reading off the thing.
yeah, I don't think they mentioned that in the movie, to be honest.
Well, maybe he does. Maybe the Hans Conrad scientist mentions it.
Maybe he
and we just weren't
explained
paying
it.
attention.
Probably.
Because I think we were having a conversation during like that scene or something like that. Because we had Aiden Hammond over
again.
We have to invite Aiden. It's like, how can we keep inviting Aiden and not having him come to these things? It's like, I'm surprised he hasn't even mentioned, hey, I want to be on your show.
I don't think he watches these. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he probably doesn't watch. Well, actually listens to, because, if you watch it, you'll just be, like, staring at the thumbnail for, like, 30 minutes,
That's how I watch podcasts.
Well, okay. So, we mentioned that the story, it's pretty average for
pretty standard stuff.
50s monster movies. And then there's like some of the standard stuff, like the military commander has like a romance with this office girl.
Yeah, we got scientists that explains the monster to us.
Yeah, we got a little girl in there who plays almost next to no role.
Well, she causes the one monster to awaken. That's her role, is causing
that's
death and destruction.
Yeah, that's the only thing this girl does,
I guess the scientist also does a little bit more than just explain. He does, like, keep the creature contained. Where they study it.
He does help him, like, defeat the monster, too. So he does help.
He does a little bit more than some of the other scientists who usually just kind of explain what's happening and then they die, like the guy in Beast from 20,000 Fathoms.
Yeah, that guy. God rest that man's soul.
that guy, the paleontologist man who
he was like lower in that bathysphere.
Yeah, and then he gets eaten.
Listen, he always was. That guy was big into dinosaurs, so
a national hero.
He got to die the way he probably wanted to die, by being killed by a dinosaur underwater where no one can help him.
Anyways, slug monsters.
And maybe more thing to say about the plot. There's like a romance between the military commander and the office girl. It's basically just
there really isn't too much.
It's pretty standard, I did kind of laugh though, because the military commander is like this, middle-aged guy.
Yeah.
And he's going after this 25-year-old woman or whatever.
Well, she does have a kid,
like,
so she's probably like early 30s with a ton of makeup.
Oh, yeah. And she's all like, oh, he's awful cute. I'm like, well, yeah.
No, he's a middle-aged man.
Yeah, and it's kind of fat, too. And there's like a shot where he has like a pipe or something. He's like wearing this like the old, Navy uniform. He looks like Douglas MacArthur.
Yeah,
or
he is.
something like that.
This guy, he is not like. He's not like the guy from It Came From Beneath the Sea, where he's kind of he's like an older guy, but he's like an okay-looking guy. Where this guy, he's just like, that's your average middle-aged army commander guy.
Yeah, smoking a pipe, all that. Let's talk about the acting in the movie, just to kind of segue into that. I mean, the acting is very standard.
Yeah, it's pretty standard
and everything like that. I don't think there's any performances that really wowed me or anything like that.
There's nothing that really like irked me, I'd say. I'm trying to like think back to like more of the smaller bit roles, like the mom whose daughter runs off with the guy. I don't think any of them were like bad per se. They were all really fine.
I mean, we got like one of those like side characters, you know.
I guess the kids aren't great, but like that's
but like no, like one of the side, like that mom who tells her girl, she wear the
isn't
teenager.
The mom the love interest? Oh no, you're talking about the other mom.
Yeah, I'm talking about the other mom.
Yeah, the old lady.
The old lady. Yeah, you see, there's this part where I guess these two young adults or teenagers or whatever go out and to swim on the beach, and they're not supposed to. It probably inspired Jaws, who knows? And they get killed by the slug monster. You know, I mean, and you know, the teenage girl does this classic, you know, one-piece bodysuit. You ripped straight from, assuming Creature from the Black Lagoon or something like that. And there you go. And then also made the poster.
Oh, is that the girl on the poster?
Yeah, I think it's the girl on the poster.
What's funny is
she's wearing a one-piece.
Yeah, sure,
bodysuit.
But what's funny is that we don't even see that attack scene. I don't think, unless we see them get pulled under.
Maybe it's like a deleted scene or something like that.
Did we? If it was, that's like a big waste of money for these movies. But I think all we see, if anything, we just see them get pulled under.
Yeah, it's like mostly just left to the sidelines.
Yeah.
But yeah, none of the acting in their movie is that
Did they even
notable.
reveal the monster by then?
I think they did when they went down there, went underwater to investigate earlier in the movie.
I'm trying to like remember because they go down to investigate multiple times. I can't remember if like the first time they go down.
And I'm pretty sure we do see the monsters by then.
Sorry, it's been like we watched this.
Like
it's
last
a
week.
Yeah, it's been a week.
Yeah, we've been pretty terrible with the timing of these recordings recently.
Well, next week it'll be Monday, and so we'll be probably watching that then, and then we'll get the review out Wednesday. So we'll probably be at least these last few reviews we should be getting out.
Hopefully soon. I still need to edit the Guanchi video as of recording this. Sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't take that long to edit anyway.
Yeah,
anyway,
it's back
to the movie. Back to the thing that we're getting paid for.
Mm-hmm. This movie review that we're getting paid for.
I just had a kind of a fun little trivia fact, but the scientist, he's played by a character actor from the time named Hans Conrad, who you might recognize from... he voiced Captain Hook in the Disney Peter Pan movie that came out in 1953, and he was also apparently in The Great Dictator. We couldn't find out what part he played.
Yeah, I looked through on Letterboxd like all the roles, and it's like uncredited, and it's like, he was in there.
Yeah, so you know, for eagle-eyed viewers, you can watch Great Dictator, and you can let us know where he is in The Great Dictator. Man, that'd be quite the search right there. Where in the world is Hans Conrad? Ooh.
In this one specific movie.
Yeah. He's probably like a background extra.
He's either like a Nazi or a random Jewish citizen.
Yeah, maybe. Or
one of the two.
Just some random background extra, probably.
Yeah.
Maybe he plays like I don't know. Anyway, back to
this
thing. Honestly, we don't have much to say.
No, because
we've been really...
The thing about this movie is that it's a very standard monster movie, but it's kind of got it's 3 acts. Like the first act, I think, is fine enough. It's suspenseful, but it's a little boring. Second act, similarly, quite boring. You get a little bit of the dive with the monster grabbing them and all that, and that's like fun. And then there's a lot of more slow until you get to the big climax where the monster is attacking people in the lab.
Yeah,
but there's a lot of slow, boring moments in this. And the characters
going on dates and everything like that. And
these characters just are not that great. They're pretty bland.
Standard, yeah.
There just isn't a lot here.
There's not as much to say. I mean... Yeah.
What about the monster itself?
Well, going on to effects, you know, the monster, you know, are just giant slugs, and I'm assuming they only had one because I think most of the time we only see one on screen.
Yeah, we only ever see one on screen.
So I'm guessing they only had the one. Well, and it looks like it's crane operated.
In order to have multiple, they had them in the shells, which we never really see the monster with the shell on it, which you kind of see like a head poking out. But then they'll have like other shells next to that. So I think that's kind of how they gave off the illusion that, ooh, there's a bunch of them, as they have just kind of shells next to the underwater, like they're like sleeping.
Yeah, but anyway, it's just this big giant slug with these big kind of eyes. It
looks more like a centipede, to be honest. The monster looks more like a centipede.
Yeah, I'm not really a big slug or snail person expert, so I wouldn't really know.
Slugs do not have, for the record, slugs do not have big, hard legs, claws, and they don't have big fangs and teeth, and
it's mutated.
And they don't have.
Oh no! They're prehistoric slugs.
And these slugs literally have like a human skull for a face, pretty much.
Ah, come on!
With big glowing eyes.
What if in this movie's universe,
slugs have human skulls?
Humans evolved from slugs. What if that was the thing?
It's never mentioned in the movie, so not canon.
It might be that might be the dumbest statement ever uttered in the history of the world, of the universe, of everything that's ever happened.
The statement that challenged the world.
There we go. The statement that challenged the world.
But like the puppets themselves, like I think
they're okay.
They look solid enough.
Yeah, but it's very obvious they're operated by some kind of crane or something like that because they move in very one motion.
Yeah, still, I think that's still more impressive than something like the monster from
T-Rex.
The monster from like It Conquered the World. The big triangle.
Yeah, I was gonna say the T-Rex or any of those dinosaurs that were.
The Land Unknown.
Again, we have to talk about that thing again.
We have to talk about it again.
Yeah.
Well, like the plesiosaur in that is kind of a similar sort of operation thing, but that's just kind of like
it's like a
that's just kind of like
giant puppet.
Flippers, two flippers, not even the back ones, that just kind of go up and down, and a head that goes side to side. Whereas this kind of, it's got a bit more range of motion to it.
Yeah.
And they're not afraid to take a spear and jab it into the thing's eye.
Although they probably did that as the
that's probably the last thing they did. With
there's a part in the movie like in the middle where they stab the one of the slugs in the eye and dies.
That's like the first shot we get, or like the first real action scene
with them. Yeah.
And
that was probably like the last thing that they filmed.
Yeah.
Because again, I'm pretty sure they probably only had like the one, and they had to make use of it somehow.
Yeah.
But overall, the effects aren't bad. Okay, but they're just kind of standard for the time, and that's the only thing you can really say about the movie at the end of the day. It's just it's standard for the time. Well, it's 3D.
Pretty standard.
Did you say it's in 3D? This movie was made after the 3D phase.
Yeah, this was not 3D. I don't think there's any sort of 3D thing going on here. But it's just kind of a standard 50s monster movie.
Yeah. So if that's your cup of joe, you can watch this movie and
It's got a few decent action sequences. Like you got that first scene, the diving scene, and then the scene in the lab. And then everything else in between is just kind of slow and monotonous.
Yeah, which is how some people describe our podcasts.
Yeah. Is that how Russell describes
it? No, he has never said that.
Guys, your podcast is a little slow and monotonous. It's a little... You gotta spice it up or make them faster.
Yeah, so I guess that's why we've been reviewing movies where there's like
I don't got nothing to talk about.
Yeah, it's man, that's the reason.
Bland, and there's a monster and it looks okay. All right, next movie.
Yeah, I think this episode might be shorter than Ape vs. Monster.
It might be shorter than Ape vs. Monster.
Yeah, I do like this movie better than Ape vs. Monster. Oh yeah, I'll give it that.
It's just a standard 50s monster movie, and that's really all you can say about it.
I'll give this movie a 6 out of 10.
I'll give it a 5. 5 or a 6. I'll give it a 5.
Okay, why is the 5, huh?
Because there's nothing to it.
okay.
It's fine, but it's not a great movie.
I'll at least give it a 6. Okay. Well, anyway, that's pretty much all we have to say.
The next one will be longer, I swear.
Yeah, the next one is Mysterious. Ooh. It's the Mysterians. Ooh. Which sounds like the name of some kind of weird sitcom, or if you're familiar with the band. But no, that's a movie from 1957. This is where the band got the name. Yeah.
Yeah, and we'll cover it next time.
Next time! Ooh! Alright, well, you have anything else to say to the listening public?
Nope.
Well, okay.
It Came from the DVD Collection was hosted and produced by John Billinger and Connor Keating. The movie covered The Monster That Challenged the World is the property of United Artists. This was a Tiger Media Net production.